Good afternoon. I'm Edward, and this is my son Aristotle. We are a political podcast and a current events podcast, and that's what we aim to be going forward. But today we're going to take a step back. In light of what happened to Mr. Kirk last week, we think that it's appropriate to not talk any politics or current events this week. And we just want to say stop the violence. It doesn't really matter where it comes from, it doesn't matter where it goes, but it needs to stop. And so I'll turn it over to my son Aristotle to let him give a few remarks.
We here at the Casso podcast um, will never condone senseless acts of violence, regardless of who it is, what they believe. Um, nobody should be okay with the current events that's been going down. And I know we are a current event podcast. However, we both view that it is not appropriate currently to go into those details.
So that being said, we're going to have a fun podcast today. We're going to talk about a few funny issues, and we hope that you enjoy it. And again, it really does boil down to it being that simple. Violence cannot be, should not be, and when we unite as Americans, will not be tolerated. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Casso podcast, episode 4. We are, this is my son Aristotle, and I'm Edward. This is AJ. I'm the philosopher. It really doesn't matter what our names are. It's kind of funny. We all have nicknames. Honestly, most of my life I've been called Casso
Yeah.
by my football coaches and then by everybody in the legislature. So it really doesn't matter what our names are. This guy's Sunny Boy, AJ.
Happy 1 month, Dad.
Happy one
We
month.
did it. I have 4 episodes. We've been doing this for a month now. This is
Yeah,
when I like to think we finally did it right.
yeah.
This guy, I mean, last week was,
Last week was nice.
but yeah.
Last week was
So
fun. So, but yeah, like we talked about earlier, we're gonna actually just focus on fun stuff this episode. And so, what I wanted to do is talk a little bit about funny stuff. And so I told AJ, come up with your 5 funniest movies. And they could be historical, they could be from the 1940s. He does actually like classic film, which is kind of cool. I don't necessarily do, but this guy is a classic film aficionado.
oh, dude, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
seriously, and that's it's kind of
I mean,
cool.
like Three
I'm like,
Coins in
where
the
did you get
Fountain,
where'd you get that stuff? Yeah,
Casablanca.
oh, because of Grandpa.
Yeah, Grandpa loved
Yeah,
those. And
yeah,
so what's fun is I always tell people because they'll say something that is super old and I'm 24 and they would have no idea that
yeah,
I know these things
yeah.
and they'd be like, "How do you know that?" Growing up, every time I'd go over to my grandparents' house, it's not that, and I feel like everybody could do attest to it, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean it. Me and my sister never got the remote. When they were awake, we would have to wait till
Not,
midnight.
not to be fair though, when I was growing up, my dad used to watch that stuff,
Yeah,
and I would just leave the room. I would be like, all right, cool, I'm out of here.
yeah. Well, I
But
mean,
yeah,
it was exciting when I was a kid. And,
yeah.
like Lawrence Welk, I
Oh,
watch
dude,
I
we talked about
still
that the other day. That's freaky.
yeah I still watch Lawrence Welk on
Oh my goodness.
whenever I like miss home really.
Once again, that was a time. That was a cue for me to go back to my room.
Yeah, yeah, no.
And then even honestly, as an adult, when I would take you guys over, they'd be like, okay, you guys are gonna watch this. But then even Cecilia, she likes movies like Gone with the Wind and stuff like that. It's kind of funny that
Yeah,
you guys
no.
like
I
those kind of things. And again, I mean, you like what you like. I'm not saying no, it's bad or good, but like I said, when I would see my dad or my mom even watch those kind of movies, I was just kind of like, eh.
yeah, no. But as for funny movies,
Yeah, let's talk some fun stuff today. Get I want to know we're gonna you wrote down your top 5. I wrote down my top 5. I want to start with your number 5, and we'll go down all the way to number 1. And what I want to do is kind of just so our audience could get to know us a little bit better through our movie picks and why we like these movies, the characters, the quotes, whatever you want to say, son. So go ahead and give me your number 5, and then tell me why.
my number 5 is Superbad. I don't know who directed it, but Jonah Hill,
Yeah,
Michael
you do.
Cera.
Judge Apatow.
Okay.
You said okay.
Yeah, no, but
He only did like 100 movies in the early 2000s.
yeah, no, but that movie for me was, I mean, I still go back to it and I'm like, the characters are just hilarious.
McLovin.
What song is he singing when he's in the room with those guys? And
Oh, these eyes.
oh yeah, 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 hilarious, hilarious movie.
Especially since he can't sing, but he's like, "You, dude, you're that singer."
Yeah, yeah, he's all scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the funniest part for me on that one is McLovin. That I mean,
hmm
that's just ridiculous.
I mean, when he gets caught up with the cops, and they have that big adventure.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love that movie. What's your
Yeah.
number five, Dad?
My number five is Office Space, and it goes in line with when I first start. It actually came out when I first started. Right out of college, I got a job, at Nextel, and it literally was like a frame for frame reenactment of the movie Office Space. The managers were the same, the people were the same, the droning on about corporate this and that was the same. It was just funny, and it was super funny because we weren't just watching it, we were living it 5 days a week too. And so when I got out of school, it's actually a funny story. When I got out of school, I was going to go work for a congressman back then, and I was going to make, like 23,000 dollars, which back then, I mean, that sounds like nothing now, but even back then it wasn't really anything.
hmm
And there were these recruiters at CU, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to come be a supervisor for us?" I was like, "Yeah, what do you mean?" They're like, "We're a cell phone company." And back then, cell phones weren't obviously computers in your hands. They were literally just phones. And I was like, he's like, Nextel. I was like, I never even heard of Nextel. And he's like, "If you come with us, we're looking for college educated people to come be our frontline supervisors, and we'll start you at 55,000 a year." Well,
So
that
they,
that that detoured me away from politics for a little bit, and I'm like, yes. And then eventually, I actually did make a lot of good money there while I was there. But it was funny, the Office Space thing. It was like literally, I used to act like the supervisors acted in that movie. I used to act like, I used to hold a cup of coffee like that and everything. It was super weird, and so that's why it's in my top five. And just the gags and all that, and then they get in
mhm.
trouble and then all that. It's silly.
And then the fire and yeah, that
And
stuff.
Milton,
Yeah,
where's my stapler?
that stuff is funny.
Yeah,
My number four,
yeah.
um, 40-year-old virgin is
Uh-oh.
hilarious.
Right there, buddy. Remember when we bought that poster at
Yeah,
Universal
and
Studios? I
I
was
was
like, there it is.
yeah, no, that movie's hilarious, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Hilarious. I know I'm pretty sure it's on your list too, so I'm gonna keep it
Oh,
pretty brief.
you
Um,
know where it's at. But yeah,
yeah,
it's on my.
yeah,
But it's funny because like even at the bar, when you're at the bar, I'm like, oh cool, it's $9 beer night, and just stupid stuff like that. It's silly.
yeah. And speaking
Yeah.
about the bar, like I have a bunch of collectibles, and one of you were there that day, and I was like,
Oh, dude,
damn.
if you could see my room now, I have a ton, but it's because he bought them for me. But if you saw his man cave,
Yeah,
oof,
no,
oof.
I've got way too many lightsabers, way too many Star Wars helmets, and I know that I
Dude, I
do.
counted them. You have 17 lightsabers, and I think you have 14 helmets. And they're not toys. They're real collectibles.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I was telling somebody at work about it, and one of my bar regular patrons was like, "Hey man, you ever seen that movie? You're just like Andy." And so obviously my name's AJ, but now whenever they say, "What up, Andy? How you
Yeah,
doing, Andy?" And that's hilarious.
I'm gonna actually next time I go, I'm gonna be like hit use. We used to. I like when your teacher called you lame J, like
Oh my
using
God,
like a word and then J. So I'm gonna be like, what about Andy J?
Andy J.
There we go.
That's fair. That works. What's your number four, Dad?
My number four is Christmas Vacation. I think everybody on Earth loves that movie. I think it's funny, but I obviously I love Christmas too. And as we get through the podcast, this will almost 100% be decorated for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
We will be wearing Santa hats because I'm a dork. And just that movie, the time of year it comes out, it's just like it's one of those ones that you have to watch.
hmm
But then all the stuff that Clark gets into, the putting the lights on the house, him falling all over him when he's upstairs in the attic, and then she pulls the thing down and he falls while he's watching. He's all sentimental watching that movie. It's good all around. It's funny all around, and so that's my number four.
Uh, what's funny enough is my number three is Regular Vacation.
Oh my
The first
goodness.
one, that movie I don't like whenever it's on, I have to stop what I'm doing and watch it. It's so funny. Uh, I mean, that was the first one to where all the characters were just the dumbest possible like possibilities that they could be.
Well, cousin Eddie. I mean, in both in the regular
Yeah,
vacation and
yeah,
in
yeah.
Christmas vacation, he steals the show. I mean, I didn't mention him when I mentioned my Christmas vacation, but even in your vacation, he still literally steals the show
Oh
with
my
how
gosh,
ridiculous he
yes.
acts.
Like when they tie the dog to the car, when
Uh,
the grandma passes away,
uh,
uh, Rusty having his first beer, and he chugs it. Dude, that's my favorite part. I love that part so much.
oh yeah.
Um, that movie, and then they get there and
Well,
it's closed, and they just went through all this. Yeah,
oh yeah, and to put it in perspective too, and I didn't realize that was in your top five, but now think of all the times that we went to Wally World. I
yeah,
mean, seriously,
really.
this guy has literally spent 2 months of his life in Disneyland. We just I don't for whatever reason we could have went on vacation every year anywhere,
Hmm.
and we chose literally Disneyland, not Disney World. We chose Disneyland every year, and so
But what's even worse to
yeah,
that is like it never got stale for us.
yeah.
We would go for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days
But at the
every
same time,
year.
we would always, for the most part, and sometimes we did fly in, but for the most part, we would always do those road trips
Yep.
from Denver there, and it was like it. So I now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, that actually again art imitating life and that kind of stuff. It's
Hmm.
kind of funny. Well, even when the remake came out, we were the day it came out, we went and watched it, and then the next day we went to Disneyland.
Yep, yep, yeah. And the remake is, I love the remake
The
too.
remake's good.
The remake's a little bit like too raunchy
Yeah, yeah,
at some parts, but the remake is just as funny.
yeah, that is.
Ed Helms, hilarious.
Yeah,
Jimmy
and
Chase,
talk about
still
another
hilarious.
Andy Bernard.
Yeah, no,
Uh
no
oh,
kidding.
it's Andy Day.
I,
Okay, give me your next one, buddy.
that was my three. What's your three?
Yeah. Let me get it back up here. Sorry about that.
No, you're good then.
Yeah, my next one. My numbers. Okay, here's one, and I don't even know if you've ever seen it, to be honest with you, but it's from the 1970s. I think in 1976, 77. The Jerk with Steve Martin. I put that on there because it's super funny. And then I started thinking, hey, wait a minute, what about Three Amigos? Because that,
Oh,
ooh, that's
damn, I didn't
I,
even think
I
about
know,
Three
but Steve
Amigos.
Martin. I mean, for and when he was on Saturday Night Live, he's just funny and not like overtly funny, like outrageous, over the top funny.
Hmm.
Just those little things that he does, and just like in the Jerk, there's a scene in the Jerk, and I send it to you once a year just to be funny. And you're like, what is this? You probably don't even get it, but when he's like he becomes rich, he invents this thing, these sunglasses, or these glasses that you can grab here and stuff. So he becomes wealthy. I mean, he was like a poor dude from like Mississippi, but he becomes wealthy because of this invention that he shares with another guy. And anyways, he people start coming to him to donate to charity. There's all these kind of groups coming to him. And then there's this dude. He's obviously he's a super rich dude because he has his own personal airplane, and he comes and he asks the Jerk Steve Martin. He's like, my the leather in my airplane, the seats are cracking. And he's like, I've tried saddle soap, I've tried leather, I've tried the wax and everything like that. And finally, he's like, I can't live like this. I can't do this anymore. And so then Steve Martin starts crying. He's like, here. And he gives him $15,000 to replace the leather seats on his airplane. But the funniest thing is the joke at the end. He's like, now I can fly my friends to the Super Bowl like a real man. that's that's literally to this day is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And he's like, thank you. And Steve Martin's all, he's all, you're welcome. That's the charity I needed to get. It's really stupid. The whole movie's like that. I actually next now that we're talking about it, I think you've seen it, but when you were like a little kid. But I think now that you're an adult, I think we should watch it because I think you'd find it just as funny.
No, that sounds really good. I so damn, I really wish that I would have remembered Three Amigos. I love Three Amigos.
Oh,
That's
well,
such a good one.
when I put the Jerk and and then I was like Steve Martin, and then I was like, oh well, but then I didn't want to have two Steve Martins
Hmm.
in my top five.
Yeah.
Not that this is an empirical list that is valued in anything. For whatever reason I didn't want to
Yeah,
have
no, that
two. we're
but
not we're not getting graded on these lists or anything, but
um for my number two, I have The Hangover.
yeah.
I think
Well, this is gonna surprise you too, buddy, because guess what my number two is?
The
The
Hangover is
Hangover.
yeah.
That's
Uh
cool. Now again, it's raunchy, You guys were, I mean, you guys were almost teenagers when it came out, so
Yeah,
I didn't feel as bad letting you guys watch it. But I was like, some of this stuff is maybe not appropriate for a 9-year-old.
but growing up,
No,
and I think everybody could attest to it at some point. Not that we anybody's had that crazy of a night, but it's all felt like that. And I feel like not a lot of people talk about The Hangover being such a
dude, what about my birthday last year
oh
for my
god,
50th? We Instead of Mr. Chow, we had the guys from Denmark. That
that
was
is
crazy.
true.
That was wild.
For
Absolutely wild.
let's tell that story real quick.
It's a weird story, but yeah, go. I want your perspective, then I'll add to it.
So we were uh
It's
it was my dad's big 50th. So we
yes,
went way too hard, and it was just us.
yeah,
Everybody else was kind of like, well, dialing it back and
yeah. It
whatnot.
was literally just us two. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh my god.
for some reason I was like, Dad, I'm sick of paying for drinks individually. We're gonna buy a bottle and drink it ourselves.
Yeah,
And we did before we went out,
yeah.
so that like, oh, when we go out, we don't have to.
Well, so I mean, again, it's not $9 beer night in Vegas. It's $20 beer night
Yeah,
there,
no,
and so
it's so
you,
expensive.
yeah, you got to kind of save where you can. So we have gotten into that habit when we go to Vegas of, well, we'll drink our own. We'll buy sodas on the way and this and that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and so we what's it called? Try to do it cheaply, and then we went out, and then like we're already at a 10, which for those that really know us, me and my dad will take trips to Vegas all the time. We'll just go out there, have fun
Yeah,
and whatnot. And when we get back, we're like, we swear off drinking. We're never drinking again
yeah,
because that's how hard we go.
yeah.
But for my
Well,
dad's,
we don't, and it's not to be jerks or anything. It's
no,
just
we're
to be
just having
funny.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
being funny,
definitely
trying
just
to have
having
fun. Yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Let me say that because I don't want
yeah,
everyone to think that we're just going out there and being a couple
no.
jerk
And
offs. But
so,
yeah,
so this time we were at New York,
yeah,
Coyote Ugly. We're having a good time, right? And people are buying my dad
because
shots.
it's my birthday. Yeah,
I mean, we're getting pretty belligerent at this point.
yeah.
And I went to the DJ and I said, and I, let me start this off by saying I was super respectful. I was super like calm and trying to be nice because I like to keep a level head.
No,
Um,
you're being Alan, buddy. I'm just
and so
joking. I'm just joking.
I go up to the DJ and there's an inside joke between me and my dad with Eddie Murphy's Party All the Time.
Yes.
And whenever we hear it, so I want it for his birthday. We're
Now
of
something
course,
supernatural happens because we actually every time we go to Vegas, it rears itself. We saw it on a video screen at what Wahlburgers,
yeah,
and then one time on a different trip when me and my boy went out there, the DJ did play it, and
yeah, yeah,
we were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh wow, and we were just kind of like, that's
And
kind
so
of
like
weird. Yeah.
we're like we're like two drunk girls when that song comes
Oh
on,
yeah.
like legitimately, like
Oh yeah.
we're dancing and we're excited that Eddie Murphy's playing out of all things. So I go up to the DJ and I say, "Hey, it's my dad's birthday. Do you mind playing this song? Like,
Hmm.
if you need like I'm willing to like pay you for it at this point, right?"
Oh yeah.
And he kind of like shoved me away. And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, he heard me, whatever. I sit down and I'm like anticipating this. I'm so excited for my dad and me to like freak out and have fun. And it's still not playing. So I go
Mhm.
back up and I'm like, hey man, like, can you play it? And he says, um, he looks at me. I'm not gonna say exactly what he says. My grandma watches this show. Uh, but he goes, F you, get the F out of here
Yeah.
and flip me the bird. And so I'm
And we're all just watching. We're all, all right.
and so I'm drunk and emotional and
Oh my goodness.
it was for my dad. So
Yeah.
now I'm here yelling at him back. F you, how dare you talk to me like this? I'm flipping him the bird times 10,
Yeah.
whatnot. And supposedly, don't remember this, supposedly I took his tip jar and I threw it at him. Don't remember that. I don't know how much of that is true. But
Yeah.
so then we're sitting there. I'm still emotional because I'm like, man, F this guy. Like, how dare he
Yeah.
uh, put me through that, whatever. And then here comes two managers and the whole security team, and they're like, "Hey man, you guys gotta go," blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "This is ridiculous. You're stepping on my rights," type of thing. That's how belligerently
Yeah.
drunk I was,
Well, no, I
you
mean,
know.
yeah,
And
the
so
DJ didn't help anything by
yeah,
acting like a jerk either. But
so then we're getting kicked out, and there was two dudes
now
from
take it a step back. all night. We were hanging out for with Hans and Peter all night.
Yeah.
These dudes, for whatever, and we were having a good time with them. For whatever reason, they took a liking to our party, and so they were buying me. I mean, they literally had to have bought me what 6 drinks that night
Oh
over
yeah.
the course of like 3 or 4 hours. And so we're like, oh, and they were just we were talking about. I mean, we were talking about politics in America. We were talking about politics in Europe and that kind of stuff. And we just really got to know them as. I mean, they were we were having fun, but they were kind of weird dudes. They were like two dudes in their 60s, and they had to have been there on business or something.
Yeah.
But they were they just and they spoke with that Danish accent and stuff. It was really cool. But then I'll let you take it from
So,
there.
so then so then we're going down the elevator
Yeah,
or the escalator, and I'm super emotional because I'm like, well, dang, I just got my dad and my girlfriend kicked out of a bar,
yeah.
and I'm very like emotional about it. And
It wasn't a
as
big
we're
deal, but
going down, Hans and Peter are coming up,
yeah,
and they see that I'm distraught, and they see that we're like getting kicked out, and security's behind me the entire time, whatever. And for whatever reason, they were just like, all right, we're like, they grabbed me and they were like, it's okay, it's gonna be okay.
yeah.
Kissed my dad on the cheek
Yes, both of them.
multiple times.
Both of them at the same time, and it was cool. Now that's where it turned weird, and so we all went back downstairs, and then they said, "Hey," they pulled the pit boss over, and they're like, "Hey," and they must have been doing this all weekend or something because they're like, "You know what we want," and so waitress comes back with 2 bottles of Cristal, and I'm like, "Oh man, these
Which
guys."
those who don't know is champagne, but it's like,
I mean, it's high roller. It's like, I
mm-hmm,
mean, it's expensive normally, but in Vegas it's super expensive. I mean, I don't know what it is, maybe $200-300 a bottle. They brought over 2 bottles. And I didn't know a pit boss would do that, and they brought it and they put it right there next to the blackjack table. Well, Hans,
well, hang on,
No,
hang
Hans
on.
and okay, no,
Let me
because
explain
it
my
has to be really.
Yeah, let me explain my
Yeah, go ahead, go
perspective,
ahead.
and then I'll let you get into
Yeah,
it because I wasn't there. So
no,
obviously we I think we started drinking that day at 10 in the morning, which is disgusting. But I mean, we were celebrating. And so obviously, like, liquor got to me. I felt ill. And when I come back to the table, or like I'm coming back to find um, everybody and whatnot, and I just see my dad playing blackjack, and okay, like that's not nothing out of the ordinary. We do that all the time. But then I see the chip count,
yeah,
and I'm like, what are you betting 2 grand for?
yeah.
You know?
Hans put and let's take it back even a step for that. Hans met a lady. I don't know if she was working or not, but well, she joined our party, and Hans sat there and he threw $1,000 in front of me, $1,000 in front of her, and $1,000 in front of him, and said, "Let's win." Well, what was funny is I'm actually a decent blackjack player, and so I was winning. And but then I didn't. I was like, "That's not my money. I'm just going to give it." And so I kept giving Hans 50, 100 at a time because I was winning, and they were both losing. And so in the end of it, we lost $3,000 in about 6, 7 minutes. We drank 2 bottles of Cristal in about 6 or 7 minutes, and then they must have been staying at New York, New York, because then we were like, okay, we're done. It's 1 o'clock. We've been partying all day. It's time to go home.
Mhm.
And so we're like, we're gonna get in a lift, and they're like, can we go with you? So they came back.
And
We were staying.
me and him were like, all right,
Yeah, we're
come
like,
with us,
let's
yeah.
keep going. And so we went from New York, New York, back over to Harris, and thank goodness it kind of ended there. But we have our own Mr. Chow story when we have somebody from another country hanging out with us in
And
Vegas acting crazy.
I mean, it was that
Yeah,
entire trip was crazy. That
yeah,
yeah, that was so yeah. Obviously, the Hangover,
yeah. So
we derailed that, but
yeah,
the Hangover
no,
is
we lived the hangover
yeah,
kind of, which was kind of cool.
and it's super personal. And I mean, the movie alone is hilarious, but
Yeah,
for those who know and those who like, at some point, I'm sure you have a night that has been absolute craziness.
so
So it is also very relatable,
yeah, it's funny.
type of movie.
Super funny. Okay, well let's kind of wrap this one up. Obviously, my number one's 40-year-old virgin. We kind of hit that already for the reasons why. There's a lot of funny parts that you really can't talk about anymore. These days, it's not politically correct to talk about, but at the time, it was still funny, and so that made me laugh. What's your number one, buddy?
My number one is honestly probably one of my favorite movies of all time, Weird Science.
Uh oh.
I love that movie. I adore that movie so much. My first car was my dad's
Yeah.
Jeep Wrangler, but I remember like
Oh no,
everybody.
it was yours, don't it? I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
And
I gave it to you.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so everybody was at the time when we were kids was naming their cars, and I would say my car's name is Lisa from Weird Science,
from the return.
you know, because that movie hilarious the entire time.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a beat where it's not funny. Uh when she's made hilarious when they're freaking out about it. When they're showering.
Okay.
No, you know what I mean. And like
Dude, my
you think that they would be showered, but then it
oh,
pans to them in their jeans
the
because they're too nervous, you know, and that's hilarious.
dude, my best scene from that one is at the bar when they're hanging out.
Yeah, dude, so funny. Eating
Dino,
gum,
she's
yeah.
into malakas. And then I love doing Dino's laugh, but it's kind of ridiculous.
It
But
is ridiculous.
I thought about using that on the podcast just to kind of do use
No,
Dino's
no,
laugh as a
it.
gag. But
I don't think our audio could keep up with that laugh. But
oh, that's funny.
yeah, that movie's top 10 funniest.
It's good.
RDJ hilarious in it when
Yeah,
they're trying to reenact making a girl
yeah.
and they make the bomb. And what do he say? He says like he says some
He says bad stuff that you
yeah.
can't even on a podcast. You probably wouldn't say, but yeah,
Again, my grandma watches this. But that is my number one funniest movie I've ever seen.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it downloaded on your phone, and so you watch it every time we travel and all that stuff. So
Oh yeah.
I know you love it, and I think it's funny. But I'm obviously you probably we probably watched it together the first time and that kind of stuff. So it's a good one.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is turn it to the viewers. Comment down below what you think your top five is, or your number one funniest movie is.
And why?
Yeah, and why. Um I
Quotes,
I'd love to go down there and read about what everybody else is thinking.
or if you lived a movie, hey,
Yeah, I mean that works too.
yeah,
I think that's the best section on to what we're going to talk about next. Uh, Speaking about movies, one movie or a franchise of movies that
yeah.
we love the absolute most has always been Star Wars. And so, yeah, he's got a lightsaber here. I've got mine right
Look
there.
at that, Count Dooku, buddy.
We got Vader there. Um, Obviously, Star Wars means the most to us. And so we touched on it on the first episode, but
Yeah,
I kind of really want to give my opinions on all 11 movies, including, well, all 11, including Solo and Rogue
Rogue One.
One,
Yeah,
which are
all
still Star Wars
theatrical
movies. Yeah,
releases.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's a good, better way of putting it.
yeah,
So what we did actually is we ranked them 11 to 1,
yeah.
and I kind of want to pick your brain on it. And also,
And
there's
we haven't shared these lists yet with
no,
each other.
no.
No.
And also, there's a big thing to be saying about, like, we always talk about on the podcast about different generations.
Yeah,
See, so I grew up with Star Wars already pretty much being out. 2005 is when episode 3 came out.
yeah,
So I was 4 years old. So, and that was supposed to be the end.
yeah.
So I had all this knowledge, but what's the difference between me and him is he grew up with those movies releasing and going to see them as they were coming out,
No, yeah. That's
and
true.
so do I. So was I with the latter half of it,
Yeah,
but
but you didn't see the first three obviously
yeah,
because you weren't born yet. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's start with the list. On I think, and I hope I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say that our bottom three are the same. And it
I think the order might be different.
okay, the bottom three are the same. Are the new ones that just came out from
Hmm.
2015 to 2019.
Yeah, no.
I have in order. I have the worst Star Wars movie, and again, the worst means doesn't mean that I don't like it. I still watch it from time to time.
Hmm.
It's just the worst compared to the others, and so I love all 11 of these movies if I'm being real honest. But the worst one for me, and I'll just do the three that I have at the bottom, and then you can kind of fill in from there. I have Rise of Skywalker, which is the last one that came out at the end. Then I have The Last Jedi as my second to worst, and then Force Awakens, which honestly to me was pretty good, except for it was just basically a retelling of
A New
A New
Hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
Which, but it was cool because Kylo Ren was cool. All the effects were cool when he stopped the laser blast from midair. That was cool. His
Hmm.
lightsaber was cool. His spaceship was cool. Everything was cool about it. It was just kind of seeing Han Solo and Chewbacca again was cool, but it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, this is just the retelling of the story. Which, but it was still pretty cool at the time. But okay, go ahead and give me. Are your bottom three the same?
They're the same, just out of
Okay,
order. I
fair
have
enough.
Episode 8, The Last Jedi, as my least favorite movie. What they did to my boy Luke is unforgivable. I'd still I've out of all of them, I could rewatch The Rise of Skywalker and find some things that I like.
Oh,
And
really?
the
Wow,
same thing
that's
with
cool.
Last Jedi,
Yeah.
really, but out of all of out of all 11 movies, Last Jedi is the only one that I've seen maybe twice,
Really?
or maybe
I didn't.
5 times
I
at
didn't realize
most.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I I think the whole direction of that movie was wrong. It ignored everything. And yeah, you're exactly right.
Mm.
Uh, or not Rise of Skywalker. Force Awakens was just a retelling, and so I was hoping that it would go in a direction that was different, but different is not always good, especially when you're dealing with, in my opinion, legacy characters that, you know,
Yeah.
made, and it's all fictional. I get that, and later in my on my list, my number two spot is very special to me for um, a non-fictional reason, and we'll get to that
No,
later.
that's cool.
My number eight, because that was 11, 10, 9.
Yeah.
My number eight is Solo.
Okay. My number 8 is Return of the Jedi.
Ooh,
A
ooh,
sec.
that I don't know
No.
how I feel about that.
A second Death Star. Ewoks. Lame. But still not as lame as the new ones, but pretty lame. I don't.
I
It.
see. I say the same thing for Solo.
Uh,
I think the direction of that story was very like,
yeah, but it was Han Solo, dude. That's cool.
yeah, but it was like not
Not that
very
not that
much
mine not that mine
necessary.
is too much higher on the list because honestly, my number 7 is Solo. So
Okay, so
we're splitting hairs here, but
my number seven is Episode One, Phantom Menace.
uh-oh.
I I'm a prequel kid. I love the prequels, but at the same time, Episode One, once you've seen it once, it's really hard to go back to. It's so long, and he's gonna give me, yeah, and I know where I'm going with this.
Uh-oh.
I mean, there's stretches of that movie where just nothing happens and it's just political, and it's like,
The
dude,
galaxy, the order of the galaxy happens, buddy.
like, man, I want to see things explode. I don't want to see the Senate hearings where the chancellor's getting put on blast for trade negotiations with Naboo. You know what I mean? Like that is exciting. It's Star Wars. I love it, but at the same time, when I do rewatch that movie, I always tend to skip those parts.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I enjoy that movie just for the political aspect of it. And the it was the first one that was real CGI. And
Hmm.
at the time I thought that was super cool. Like all the battle droids and that kind of stuff like that. The music. I mean, I
Yeah, I
love
mean,
all the music from it. And
I know we listen to Star
yeah,
Wars soundtracks
yeah,
independently all
yeah,
the time.
all the
Like
time.
I'll go to the gym and play,
Yeah.
Droid Attack all the
Droids.
time. I'll play, you know,
Yeah.
uh, Separatist March.
So yeah, it's I mean again, this isn't saying they're bad. It's just a ranking of what your favorites are, and so
Hmm.
that's not bad. But yeah, so for my next one, I have Solo: A Star Wars Story at 7, and then I have Episode 2: Attack of the Clones at 6.
Wow, we agree on that. I
Yeah,
also have Episode Two.
it's kind of mid, and that's why it's mid on our list. I think it's cool. Again, the political intrigue of it
Hmm.
obvi- obviously really fascinates me, and just the rise of the emperor and that kind of stuff is really cool. But then I like I like watching Anakin's story too at that age that he's at in the movie.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then just again, that was the second movie obviously that came out after 1999 that had super cool special effects, and even like the scene where all the Jedi are in the arena and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just it's cool.
awesome.
It's a cool movie.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
no, absolutely. Um, I love that movie for the love story that not a lot of people agree with, and at the same time, I don't either. You know what I mean? They spent a weekend together, and Anakin and Padme spent a weekend together, and now they got
It's
some.
across the stars,
You,
buddy.
you know what I mean? And
It's
now
Starkey.
they're
Yeah,
desperately in love, but
yeah.
at the same time, that those scenes are fun when they're messing around in the field and whatnot, and yeah, it's just a good love story wrapped around with a spy thriller, which
Mace
is
Windu.
super cool.
Mace
Mace
Windu
Windu with
was cool.
purple
Cool as
lightsaber,
hell,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Jango Fett, all that was cool. And then just the end battle scene, and then when the end, right there, Count Dooku, buddy, when he fights Yoda, and that's the first time you see Yoda actually wield a lightsaber. It's a cool movie, man. And
Yeah.
so it deserves to be higher, but because of what's in front of it, it kind of isn't for me.
So I have a controversial take. My number five is Episode Five, Empire Strikes Back. I understand. I'm a Star Wars fan. I
Yeah,
understand why that movie deserves to be top two for most people.
most people do have it number one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And I don't blame them. I mean, it's such a dark, gritty type of Star Wars, different from A New Hope.
dude. Now this is where we kind of our lives kind of interlock as far as the age when we saw the movies because I was
Mhm.
6 when Empire Strikes Back came out, and it was funny. Let me just tell a quick story about it. We went with my dad and mom and my cousin and his mom and dad, and back then there was no online ticketing or anything like that. You got tickets, you got tickets. Well, we were must have been like literally the last people to get tickets because it was like opening night,
Mhm.
and we literally were sitting in the front row. So all that to me, I don't know if you've ever sat at the
Yeah.
at the front of the like literally the front row. So it was like this for me. So it's super ingrained in my head because of that. And I mean that sounds stupid, but it's true. Just literally where I sat, put the Empire Strikes Back in front of me, and then it opens with the snow and this and that. And
Mhm.
Luke uses this is the first time we actually see really anybody use the Force when he pulls the lightsaber out of the snow and that kind of stuff. And it's just like
That's a good point. Yeah.
visually amazing. And then the politics of it again too. Even at that young age, I mean, like we talked about in the first episode, it fascinated me. And the politics of the Emperor, the politics of what Darth Vader was doing as his lieutenant, and that kind of stuff was fascinating. And then the big lightsaber battle, we saw a little bit of it in the first, in New Hope, but then this time it's Luke against Darth Vader, and then it's father against. It's just crazy. It literally
Mhm.
is ingrained in my mind. So again, these lists aren't saying either
No,
one's bad,
yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
what you
Because
enjoyed.
honestly, I have Empire Strikes Back at 4, so it's right there too. Yeah,
What was your number 5?
my number 5 is Phantom Menace, and
Okay.
again, kind of for the same
The
reasons.
same, the
Yeah,
political
not
and
that
the
I mean ours were
CGI.
one off
Yeah.
on all those, and
Yeah.
so yeah, it's all that kind of stuff is cool. But yeah, then I have the Empire Strikes Back, not because it's bad, just because the ones in front of it are so good. But go ahead and give me your next one.
My number 4 is Episode 4, A New Hope.
Nice.
Um, I mean, there's just so much hope
Hmm.
in that movie, and it's a very, you know, somebody once told me if there was never a franchise, how does A New Hope stand alone? I think it stands alone great.
Oh yeah.
I think it's such a impactful story. The rebels against tyranny and
Hmm.
evil,
Yeah.
and I love that. I love a hero's journey from Luke starting off at where he was on a desert planet,
Yeah.
having ain't got nothing for his life,
Yeah.
and then he's the one that blew up the Death Star,
Yeah.
the biggest oppressor in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And I think that's that whole hero's journey. Take it out of the franchise. I think it's
Yeah.
a good standalone.
Yeah.
The most solid entry I think you could ever have.
Not to mention the fact that it is a standalone, but I mean it's something that was revolutionary at the time. I
No,
mean there was no
absolutely.
movie like that.
And all the effects that were
Yeah,
a
I
part
mean
of it,
because people don't understand. I was 3.5, 4 years old, and so there were things like Buck Rogers in the 21st
Hmm.
century and Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek. There was a bunch of stuff out there already, but this was like whoa,
Hmm.
and you could just feel it was like collectively the whole world was like, oh
Oh,
wow,
this is something.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is something different. And so yeah, I have episode A New Hope. I have that at my number 2.
Okay.
But let me get to my number 3 just so I think we might actually my number 3 is Rogue One.
Okay.
Is that your number 3
Yeah, that
too?
is my number 3.
That's kind of weird, but I like that because
Yeah.
it's a what a movie. And again, for the most part, I like seeing lightsabers. I like seeing the Force. I like seeing this and that. But again, for me, it gets real political and real quick, and I like that about it. But I like the fact that it doesn't overtly have the Force in it, which was kind of unique at the time.
And I like that. I mean, that's the obviously that's such a good depiction of the war that was going
Yeah,
on in
yeah.
that universe. Like uh they lose spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for a movie that
It's
came out,
our 8, 9 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah,
9 years, almost 10 years ago. But spoilers, they lose in the end. And um, but they win. They lose to win, and that's what the whole. I mean, that
yeah,
they started off the movie with those themes if you're really gonna fight for the greater good, then you're gonna lose sometimes. And I think
yeah,
that message is so amazing. I think the visually w- one of the best. Obviously, it came out just a couple years. I mean, 9 years ago, but um, I think that the story is great. The characters are amazing.
yeah.
Um,
It might have the best scene in all of Star Wars when Darth Vader ignites his lightsaber and tries to
Spoilers.
and get attacks the troops before they run off with the stolen plans. And so if that's not the best scene in Star Wars, it's one of the top 3 scenes in Star
Mhm.
Wars for everybody because it was just wow. The way they connected it to A New Hope. Obviously, it's the same time frame and stuff like that. But the way they used that scene and the way they used Vader
Hmm.
in that whole thing was pretty cool.
So I know your number two is episode four. Mine is actually episode six. Uh,
Oh wow,
Return of the Jedi. That movie for me is huge, 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 huge. Uh,
it's not realistic though.
no, but the
Ewoks would never do that. You
yeah,
know,
but
okay, you know what's interesting about that, son, and I don't know if you know this. You probably do because you know way more about Star Wars than me.
mhm,
But they were initially supposed to be Wookiees,
yeah,
but they couldn't find a bunch of people over 6'5" to go into the
but they could
costumes.
find a bunch of little people.
How
Yeah,
weird, huh?
hmm,
But they were supposed to be Wookiees, and obviously Ewok, Wookiee.
yeah. No, and
Yeah,
that
there
was
was
supposed to be Kashyyyk.
it was
Yeah,
supposed to be Kashyyyk, yeah,
I'm
and then
really flexing my skills.
now that would have been cool. I mean, can you imagine if that was the story? That would have been cool. But
Oh
then
yeah,
the stupid Death Star. I mean, okay, they blew up the first one that took 20 years to build. Okay, well they built this one in 2.5 years. Come on, that's not
hmm.
that's I don't like
Well,
that part
see,
of it.
I'm not a big fan
Yeah,
of the Death Star. I'm not a big fan of Ewoks. However, the hugest fan of the father son
yeah,
emotion in that movie.
yeah.
You know, like Luke, Luke as a character. You know, he just learned that his dad's the worst guy in the galaxy. You know what I mean? The most evil. But that's your dad.
Yeah,
And Yoda was telling him, Obi-Wan was telling him
yeah,
that there's no saving him, there's no nothing.
yeah.
And he never backed down from his family. He never backed down on how he felt about it. And even when he had the opportunity to take that step into, because you know, he had the opportunity at the end, spoilers, he had the opportunity to kill Vader and whatnot, and he stopped because he's better than that. He's better than the evil that the Emperor was doing. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I think that's huge.
No.
I love the end. The end for me is the coolest. Won't I'm saying it is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh wow.
When they're
Yeah,
celebrating, and they're all the characters are together. They all just won together, and he looks off and he sees Obi-Wan and Yoda, and he sees his dad knowing that he did the right thing and he made, you know what I mean? He fought hard
hmm.
and now he could finally rest knowing that it's all over. I always tell, like, when I moved out of here, that's that's the first movie I watched,
Oh wow.
and I went on my balcony and I was like, not obviously not that I was picturing my dad, but I just finally felt like, and that end song, ooh, that really does something to me. And
There's parts. I'm not going to dismiss it completely, but yeah.
it's just hope that all of his efforts were for something,
Hmm.
and that it and he was rewarded. It was
Yeah,
all done after the fact.
yeah. I like how apologists have come along and said, well, the reason why the Ewoks were so strong is because they had the Force with them to defeat a battalion of stormtroopers. With so I'll buy into that a
No,
little bit.
I know the real answer. The real answer on why the Ewoks had a bunch of logs ready. There, I'm really flexing my nerd skill. Um, the Ewoks TV show that came out, there were big creatures that the Ewoks
Oh yeah,
were afraid from, and that's why they had all those traps set. They weren't preparing for the Empire, but
they worked.
it worked,
Yeah,
yeah. And even then, like, it barely worked. The whole plan from Han Solo and Leia on Endor and Luke even and Lando and Nine Nub flying flying
yeah, but
around
Han
being
Solo's a
surprised.
hero, so he was gonna make that work no matter what.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, obviously we knew that they were gonna win in the end, but it was fun getting there. It was fun, like
yeah.
them slipping up and
They
having to
just needed a little time
alternate.
to destroy the shield generator.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's not like the Ewoks obliterated a battalion of stormtroopers, but they gave them enough time to do what they needed to do, which is kind
yeah.
of cool too. Yeah. Okay, and then obviously our number one is the same, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
Episode three, best one of my probably top two or three movies, irregardless
Let
of
me ask you,
movie.
how many times do you think you've watched that movie?
Seriously, no,
Uh-huh.
300 times.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
same.
easily.
Sometimes when I just like nothing else is on
Hmm.
and I just need noise to go on my phone,
Yeah,
I'll throw that movie on.
yeah,
And like, oh my a scene will show up and I'll put my phone down and
yeah.
watch real quick. All right, then back to um
It's a perfect movie. I like the story I like telling about this is when we used to the Burger King had the tie-in for the toys and
mhm.
merchandise, and we literally would go in every day trying to get every toy. And we had I think we had almost, if not all of them, we had almost all of them, but we didn't have Darth Vader.
That was so much Burger King back then.
Dude, and then finally the manager was like, he saw that we wanted it, and he came out and just gave us Darth Vader without having to buy it in a Happy Meal. That
What's
was cool.
fun is, um, years down the road, like for Christmas or maybe a
Uh,
birthday, I had found somebody on eBay that was selling the Burger King Vader,
yeah.
and I just put it in a box, and everybody that was with here for your birthday, you opened it, and like you got emotional, I was getting emotional,
Oh
and
yeah.
everybody was like, "What is he crying over a
A Burger
Burger
King
King
toy.
toy?" Yeah, what is? But yeah, no, that movie holds a lot of weight, and it's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. There's not one bad thing about it. And so
Every time, everybody like online, everybody says that every time somebody watches Revenge of the Sith, we all want it to play out differently.
yeah.
But and that's true, you know what I
Well,
mean?
you
Like,
think it is. You're like, oh,
yeah,
you hope it does, and then it's like,
yeah,
nope.
you've seen it 100 times,
Yeah.
and you're still like, no, maybe he won't
Yeah.
turn to the dark side. Spoilers.
Yeah. And then he does, and then there's no hope for the galaxy. Kind of like it feels
All
these
right,
days too.
that all right.
kind of kind of like they're instead of a new hope, a no hope.
You know what I am hopeful for?
What's up?
This week, I think, is the first week that I'm gonna beat my dad at football picks.
Yeah.
This is week 3. Week 2, okay, week 1, I definitely lost. Week 2, you tell him. You know, I'm gonna flex real quick. You tell
No.
him. You tell him about
No, no,
week 2.
no. But I think that's a new hopeless because that's not going to happen, buddy. That's a new hopeless
All
take.
right, we'll see. Let's tell him about week
So
2.
okay, let's go over our picks, our NFL picks for week 2. A model of consistency is what I am, my son.
Mm,
I am just again along the same lines as Vegas handicappers. I went 10-6 last week, which is 62.5%. Which, if you use that as a bankroll, you would make a lot of money sports betting if you did not parlay. You actually got 10-6 too. I was proud of your picks. You got there in a weird way,
we
a
tied.
super weird way, but
Boy, did we tie though.
you went from 9-7 to 10-6, so you did tie me this week, and that's awesome because I like to think that I know a lot more about football, but I don't because I know one game more than you over the first 2 weeks. But
Yeah.
I think it's cool because you have a different take. Honestly, the picks that some of the picks that you made last week were kind of wild, dude. I was like, what? But you were right.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, maybe I should next time I sports bet on my app, I'm gonna call you
Yeah.
first.
Hey, man. This
Be
game's
like,
weird.
yeah,
What do you think? It is weird. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I get that 100%.
So yeah,
Uh,
you
week 3, got a big week.
yeah, week 3 we got a big week, and so last week we both went 10-6, which is cool. I mean, I would like it a little bit higher. I'd like to think that both of us can get over 12. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I think both of us can get to 75% and pick 12 out of 16 games. I really think that's where we're heading. I think we might be heading this week. We do have 5 on our picks this week that aren't the same.
Mm-hmm.
So one of us is gonna win by one again, or I'm gonna go 16-0 and you'll go 15-1, and that's okay.
Nope. Go ahead. Let's start
You
with
said no.
game 1
Now
on
be real
Thursday.
honest to our viewers. You have seen me go 16-0 before.
Yeah, I have, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
No.
I think I finally tied it, and I'm coming for the crown.
Uh-oh.
I'm coming
For
for it.
that belt back there, buddy.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, like last week, son, I'm gonna gloss over the ones that we um
Agree on.
agree
Yeah.
on. But unless you want to say something about the game specifically, then I'll turn it over to you. But we agree on Miami at Buffalo is literally the worst team in the NFL at the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a lot of money on Buffalo this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. As we should.
yeah. I think they're 13.5 point favorites, which in week 3 is almost unheard of. I mean, to be 2 touchdown favorites, and so we both agree on Buffalo. Atlanta at Carolina, we both agree on Atlanta. I don't know why. That's the Atlanta looked horrible this past week.
Yeah. We.
Carolina's looked horrible 2 weeks. So it's really honestly you could flip a coin and
Mhm.
whoever. I mean, if you pick heads or tails, it doesn't matter because it's one of those games where. But we both agree Atlanta. We got Green Bay at Cleveland. We both have Green Bay on that one, and so I don't think anybody's going to pick Cleveland for any game this year. But we definitely aren't going to start this week with Green Bay going in there. Green Bay looks good. Here's the first one that we disagree on. We have Houston at Jacksonville. You got Houston. I have Jacksonville. Tell me why you got Houston, son.
Monday Night Football. C.J. Stroud. Hi- I don't really
Yeah.
believe that it was just his rookie year that he's a good quarterback. I think he's gonna figure it out. They've had 2 hard losses. Um, and I don't think that they stay in the doghouse forever.
Yeah.
Um,
I for me, I like Jacksonville just the way they pushed Cincinnati last week. And again, Cincinnati's not the team that especially their defense isn't good.
See,
And
but
then
at the same time, they pushed them without a Joe Burrow,
yeah, and Burrow was out.
and it's like it was that close. So I don't know.
No,
I don't.
it's a hard game. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
there's no rhyme or reason or necessarily edge to either pick, but yeah, and I think that for us, we're kind of like splitting it just to see if one of us can get ahead. So that's all right if we do that.
That's
But
fine too.
that's what, yeah, it's not anything. The next pick that we that the next game up is Cincinnati at Minnesota. We both have Minnesota at home. Even though I thought about changing this pick because again, this is just one that who knows.
Yeah,
There's too
yeah. I
many
mean, this
injuries. There's
is
too many things going on.
hmm
Both
JJ
quarter
McCarthy being hurt and
both
Chubb.
quarterbacks are out.
Yeah,
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 and
yeah,
so
yeah.
who knows? I mean, that again, that's a coin flip. Hopefully, luck is with you this week, on your pick or
Hmm.
that have you, what have you. But the next one that we disagree on is the next game up, and that's Pittsburgh at New England. You have Pittsburgh. I have New England. Tell me why you like Pittsburgh.
I think Aaron Rodgers is on the
Uh
cusp
oh.
of doing something
Uh oh.
special again.
Uh
Uh,
oh.
even last week with
Discount fanny pack.
yeah, I think
You can tell that story if you want. It's stupid.
no, I did.
We went to watch the Broncos Packers game one time, and there was this dude next to us. He was all drunk and going all crazy. And Aaron Rodgers used to do discount double check. Well, his buddy had a fanny pack on. He's like, "Hey, wait a minute. What about discount fanny pack over here?" And we were like, "Oh my god!"
So we thought it was the funniest thing
Oh
ever,
yeah,
but
it's just not as funny now as when you were 7 and I was less mature, but it's pretty funny
yeah,
still.
yeah, no, but I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna go in, take care of business. I don't think that because I don't the Patriots, they were having a hard time with the
Yeah,
Raiders
yeah,
week 1.
yeah,
And I don't even know who they played last week.
yeah.
Oh, they played the worst team, the
The Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean,
It's you can't get a gauge on it. Yeah.
yeah, but I think that
Drake May looks okay, so I'll take New England home just because of that. It's not any profound reason or anything like that. But you got Pittsburgh, and I can see why
hmm
they can definitely if they turn it on they can score for sure.
hmm
So the next two games are pretty easy for us when we're in agreement. We have the Rams at Philadelphia. We both got the Super Bowl champion Eagles, and then the Jets at Tampa Bay. The Jets look horrific. Tampa Bay looks pretty good. Not anything. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl or anything, but they're definitely going to handle the Jets. And so
hmm
we both got Tampa Bay on that one. We both have on the next game too. We both agree Indianapolis at Tennessee. Even though Tennessee looked good against us and they looked okay last week, we saw what
Danny
Indianapolis looked
Dimes,
against
yeah,
us.
Indiana Jones right there.
Yeah, Indianapolis. If they run the ball like that with Taylor and he keeps playing like that, they're going to beat a lot of people. They're not just going to
Yeah,
beat
yeah, yeah.
Denver. And
And
so now, with all being said, they did have to use the refs to beat us by 1 point.
yeah, it's
So
still
I think
controversial take. I'm still
no,
mad about it.
no.
Leverage is the worst penalty in the NFL.
But nonetheless, they almost put 500 yards up on Denver's defense, which is no small feat. It is actually pretty impressive. And so
hmm
we'll both take Indianapolis. The next game, and there's again a lot of quarterbacks got hurt this week, but we have Las Vegas at Washington. AJ has Washington. I have Las Vegas. Again, for me, it's not any kind of um, solid pick or anything like that.
It's just
I'm
yeah.
literally just trying to throw something in the
hmm
air just to get a pick up on you. If you want to know the real reasoning behind all this madness, it's nothing. It's I just want to get a pick up on you. But tell us
Makes
why you
sense.
got Washington, buddy.
I think that they got a good organization going on. Jaden Daniels is the star, but
He's out.
and
Yeah,
yeah, even without him, I think that the
no,
organization still survives without Jaden Daniels
no,
doing what he does.
sure. So
And at the same time, I don't know what star really is on the Raiders that could help them get out of this. We saw the game on Monday night. They
hmm
just can't get anything going.
hmm
And that's not to discredit the Chargers. The Chargers,
well,
yeah, they can handle business too. Uh, but when you're, in my opinion, having a hard time with the Patriots of all teams, and then you get what happened to you with the Chargers, it's like,
mhm.
well, okay, you know where this is gonna go. So
Well, Gino. I mean, Gino had 3 picks on Monday Night Football, and then Ashton Genty had 30 or 40 yards again. He
yeah.
didn't do anything, not a touchdown this week either. So again, I'm just throwing that one up there just to try to get ahead on one. But the next one we agree on, and I think we will agree on anytime Denver faces a divisional opponent, um, it would have to be something extraordinary for me to pick against my Broncos.
hmm
But yeah, we are at the Chargers this week. It's going to be a hard game.
Yep.
We
We're
could
on
we
the
could
road. Yeah.
easily lose it, but we're both picking Denver because that's our team, and
Hmm.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I will die on that hill.
Now, I won't be putting money on the Broncos
Oh,
this week,
no.
but
But
I want them to win.
you gotta understand too. It was week one. It was the offense's. In my opinion, it was the offense's fault. They weren't
Mhm.
playing to a high caliber. And week two, it was the defensive fault.
No,
They were letting Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, do whatever he wanted to do.
yeah,
And so I hope that they corrected it once,
no.
and they're gonna continue to move forward.
Well,
And
let's not be too apologetic about it. Denver's a good team
absolutely.
that played horrific both first weeks. They
And
played absolutely horrific, and we're 1-1. So yeah,
yeah.
and so yeah, it's and that's not to take any credit away from the Chargers. They look good.
Hmm.
I foresee that they will be in the playoffs just like the Broncos will be. So
But Nick Bonito's hungry.
yeah,
He
oh
had
yeah,
did we had one sack on Sunday?
yeah,
Yeah, compared to the 10 on week one.
yeah, and
Bonito's hungry.
he had a pressure or two
Yeah.
at best. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna give them all they can handle. I
Yeah,
know that. Yeah,
Herbert's going down.
yeah.
And I have a lot of stake on this game. For those who know me personally, as a bartender, my
Why
boss,
does everybody like the Chargers
that's what I'm saying.
at your restaurant? It's
My
literally ridiculous.
my
But
boss and one of my coworkers are Charger diehards, and I bet them uh,
mm,
dumbly. I should have, like, this was week zero, right
mm.
before the season started, that the first time that the Broncos play the Chargers, whoever wins, will have the other person will have to wear the jersey. So if the Chargers win, I'm gonna have to wear a Chargers jersey.
Okay, but I keep meaning to ask: do you have to buy one, or are they going to give you one?
I hope that they give it to me. If I
Yeah,
have to buy one, I'm gonna be so
but
upset.
at least you can burn it when you're done with it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I'll have to wear that for a month if
Yeah,
we lose. And same for them. They will have to wear their Broncos jersey every Saturday or every Sunday,
dude,
for a month.
I'll give them my Drew Lock jersey. They can wear that one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think so at least they look stupid while they're doing it.
yeah.
Like I was stupid for buying it. But
Hmm.
okay, let's get on. Gonna kind of wind down the podcast, but we got New Orleans at Seattle. We both got the Seahawks. We got Dallas at Chicago. We both got Dallas. Chicago's awful. The next one is the second to last game that we differentiate on. You have Arizona and I have San Francisco. Tell me why you have Arizona at San Francisco, son.
I think they're healthier. That's it.
Yeah,
And unfortunately,
yeah.
I love the 49ers. Um, I've been a Brock Purdy apologist since, he,
Him and Kittle are out.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
and McCaffrey, you can tell he's hurt already. Yeah,
it's just injury. I think
yeah,
he was questionable too,
yeah,
just the other day.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. He was. I'm picking San Francisco again. It's a coin flip, but they're at home. I don't trust Arizona. I don't trust Kyler Murray for anything. Um,
that's gonna be the game to give me the win.
that's going to be the game that actually gets me to 16-0, but that's all
Oof.
right. And then we got the Chiefs at the Giants. We both got the Chiefs, even though please let the Giants win and the Chiefs be 0-3.
Yeah, I will
Please.
take that loss,
Oh
but
yeah, I'll take
I
that
just,
loss to the bank, buddy, because it's
mhm,
like Kansas City hasn't started 0-2 for like 11, 12 years, and now I don't. Who knows the last time they started 0-3? It was definitely before Reed or Mahomes. So 0-3, Broncos 2-1. Ooh, that's nice.
mhm.
So we're hoping that we're wrong on this pick, but we both got Kansas City. And then finally, probably there's already been a game of the year with Baltimore when they played Buffalo, but here's another game of the year: Detroit at Baltimore. AJ has Detroit. I have Baltimore. Why do you have Detroit on the road, son?
They're figuring it out again. Dan Campbell and that.
52 points, buddy.
Oh
Oof.
yeah, they're figuring that out. They're working out the kinks. Week one was I mean, it felt like to me nerves because again, week one, I said that, they're my Super Bowl favorite, for the entire year. So I know that they're gonna go in and handle business.
Yeah,
Um, that I don't think Baltimore's ready for. Like,
no.
I think that my biggest indication with that is, they just went in and took care of business against the Browns. You're supposed to do that. You know what I mean?
What
If
about
you,
JoJo's a Browns fan?
yeah,
When I walked in, I was like, "What are you wearing a Browns jersey for?"
yeah,
And a Bronco hat.
but you're supposed to go in there and take care of business with a team like that. They tried really hard to take care of business against the
Or Jim.
Bills.
Jim.
Yeah, yeah.
Jim's a Browns fan
Jim
too.
was Jim
He
was
was all
pissed. Yeah, and we always mess with him. But
these guys. It's funny. I don't mean to interrupt you, son, but all these characters at the bar, they're
dude,
silly dudes,
that
man.
they like things just happen,
Yeah,
and
and
I live it, and I come home and I'm like, so this happened. Like,
Well, usually in Denver, you only have like Raiders fans and stuff like
yeah,
that. We have Colts fans, we have Browns fans, we have Jaguars fans, we have Falcons fans. It's like, well, where are we?
I mean, we had a West Virginia fan on Saturday. We had a Tennessee fan. Yeah, they're a
who,
bunch of characters.
yeah, who, yeah. I always get him and the Indianapolis fan
Yeah.
confused. Yeah.
But speaking about the Tennessee guys, this is completely off topic, but
Hmm.
that Tennessee guys, he had like 3K on that game.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, everybody was telling me on
I noticed.
Saturday.
I noticed he was slamming beers at the end of that game. I was all nervous, and we were. Then when they lost, I felt bad for. Oh, I felt bad for him as a fan, but I didn't know he had that kind of
Yeah,
money
no,
on it.
same. They told me Sunday. I was like,
Mm.
oh no, man, like that's terrible, poor guy.
Well, that's horrific.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
that's not good. But
But give me Detroit. They're gonna figure it out.
yeah, if you honestly you want to talk, if you beat me this week, that's where you'll beat me
Yeah,
right there.
belt to ass. They're gonna get back to business.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're my Super Bowl pick on the NFC, if you remember.
The Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, same. They're
Hmm.
my
Yeah.
Super Bowl pick to win it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
until Bo Nick starts playing right,
Let Jared.
and Benito
Yeah,
and Sertan and all the other All Stars we have. Let's hope they start playing right.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you now know what I was talking about week one about our team is
Yeah.
just a little too young.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna figure stuff out. I mean,
Yeah.
we have, like you said, played horrendously for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and one week one we won, but week two we still played horrendously.
No.
Bo Picks is back, and we only lost by a point.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean?
In Indianapolis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And we only lost by a point,
Yeah.
by, in my opinion, a bad call. I don't think that the no, I think the call was bad. I
Yeah.
don't think he jumped off of his
Yeah.
back. I don't think that, and even if he did, I think that the call of leverage itself is a bad call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a rough couple of weeks. We got at the Chargers this week, and then we go to Philadelphia in 2 weeks. So it's going to be rough. Once we get through this, well, then we'll start talking. But let's see
Yeah.
how they look in between win or loss, and we'll go from there. But all right, Sonny Boy, let's kind of wrap this up. I just wanted to thank everybody for watching. You can find us at youtube.com/at Casso Podcast. Give us a like and subscribe, and then AJ has a
Yeah,
commercial message for you.
let me interrupt you real quick.
Yeah, yeah,
Something that I want to start doing is I we read every comment that you guys put down, but I just want to highlight comment of the week.
comment of the week.
I want to start doing that, and
Yeah.
really let you guys know that we listen, or we read and we listen to what you guys are putting. So this
Yes.
week, um, it seems unfair, but it's a lot for her. This week is going out to my grandma. She commented, "Wonderful job, guys,"
Yeah.
and for her to go in there, figure out YouTube and to make a comment, I
No.
think is hilarious. It was such a nice notification on my phone that
Yeah.
Grandma had commented on our podcast. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I encourage you guys to continue commenting, continue a conversation with us, whether it's about Star Wars or anything that, you know, I,
And honestly, let me interrupt you real quick,
mhm.
son. Or even current events or
Yeah,
politics. We're going to
absolutely.
get back to it next week.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anything that you want to comment, take it, Sonny.
Yeah, no, anything, a question that you might have for us,
Something you wanted
yeah,
us to
something,
discuss, even. Yeah.
absolutely. We'll definitely start highlighting your guys' comments as a comment of the week type of deal. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and continuing supporting what we're doing. I mean, we're having a lot of fun doing it, and I
Yes.
hope that you guys are having a lot of fun watching and listening to this. Yeah, no, eventually, I think we're a little bit too far gone for this month, but eventually, I want to start having uh like subscriber prizes for you guys.
Yes. Absolutely.
Get all of your guys' names on, and we'll make it a big fun thing.
Yeah.
Uh, Spin a wheel and have all of you guys, uh, compete because it genuinely does mean a lot to us that you guys.
Maybe names out of a hat. I don't know
Yeah.
if we can afford the big wheel yet,
Oh
but
no, dude, it's just that'd be fun though,
yeah, no, yeah, I get it, but yeah,
and I think that uh, from me to my dad, we are so grateful and have so much gratitude that you guys
yes,
come back and tune in. I mean,
yeah,
episode 4, we're still going,
yeah.
and I genuinely,
Still working out the kinks, if
yeah,
we're
and
being
I
honest.
and
Yeah,
I'm genuinely having a fun time doing this.
yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so thank you, thank you, thank
yeah,
you.
thank you.
Please turn on
Notifications.
notifications, yeah,
Yes.
the bell on YouTube.
Yeah. And subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, but it actually, again, it helps us in two ways. It gets us past their algorithm, and it actually gets us out to more viewers.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's all. things work these days, and so it's not for our own vanity or anything like that. It actually helps us get out to more people and actually reach more people. So thank you. I'm going to sign off. For my son Aristotle, I'm Edward. Thank you. Go ahead, son.
Yeah, thank you guys so
Okay,
much.
yeah.
We'll see you
Oh,
next
I'm
week.
sorry. I thought you were
No,
going to
no,
say
I
so.
wasn't gonna.
I was
No,
all.
I was looking at
I thought you were
the
going to be
time.
more
Yeah.
profound.
No, no.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, and thank you. Stay safe. And again, to end this episode, stop the hate.